Okay, kids, Dr. Freedom, maybe the times from Dr. News from in and around the universe that may or may not affect you on a weird, strange, and even psychological level that might just readjust your attitude and cause you to wake up and smell coffee. There's nothing wrong with the smell of coffee. You just don't snort it. Then that leads to a whole nother problem. But because there are things that come from Colombia that maybe you should not snort. But, all right, let's get into the news, shall we? All right, so first up off the bat, there's a lot, like I said, unfortunately, there's a lot of bad mojo going about online lately. And it just amazes the crap out of me how many excuses that people will make for, because they don't like Series 11. But the problem is this. The numbers are there. They're hardcore facts. You can sit there and make up all the excuses. They were on Sunday, so they don't count. Do you think the BBC thinks that way? All they see is that number. And that's what I've been trying to drill into people's head. That's what they see. They see, oh, look, we're doing better than we were like last 4 or 5 years. And that's all they think about is, how's this doing worldwide? Matter of fact, Resolution, I think, did better in Australia than Twice Upon a Time on the ratings, which is a very hard act to follow. That was a very popular episode. Very good, very well done. And it was a beautiful swan song for Peter Capaldi. But that's all they care about is the numbers. Now, hopefully, they'll learn from their first time out and say, okay, maybe we shouldn't go this far on this or this. But I'm sick and tired of the evil PCSJW conspiracy. I'm sick and tired of all these little, backroom, cowards who are hiding around going, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get to sit at the big kid's chair. That's not the way it is. That's not how the world works. And whether you like it, I've been telling people all along, they're like, you're a shill. I said, I'll explain this one more time. I see Series 11, the highest I could grade it on a scale to A to F, just like you in high school, is a B minus, maybe a C plus, right in there. And the B minus is being a little bit generous. It wasn't spectacular. It did not reach A level, but it was not all horrific. I'll tell you what you do. Try growing up. You're 7 years old. You've watched the original Battlestar Galactica. Then you get Galactica 1980. Then you got Reason to Bitch. Okay? Or better yet, you're a lifelong Star Trek fan, and now they're basically creating Discovery. And since everything else has failed, they're going to go to Talos 4. But that's a whole nother thing. Like I said, I do not watch Discovery. I get everybody sending me photos, articles, and all that. And I'm like, guys, I made a conscious decision back in 2009 that I don't like it. I just will no longer watch it. But unfortunately, you've got a great number of people who are out there in YouTube land and all that who are making big fat money off the pretty little hate machine. But let's get into this. Let's show you what I mean here. But let's start off with a good positive thing. Here it is, Bradley Walsh on a plane, apparently on his way to Portugal yesterday. What's going on with that? We'll have to keep our eyes and earballs open, and we'll see. All right, this is the letter that Mandip Gill got in the mail. And she posted this, if I remember right, this was originally on her Instagram. You cannot act, quit and get a day job, end our suffering. It's just gotten out of hand. It's gotten nuts. And the worst part of it is it's just a small group of people running around trying to cause a hate movement. And sadly, there's people going, maybe I should go sit with the cool kids. They're starting to look like they might get. No, it feels like I'm back in high school. It really does. Let me give you this example. This one's been up all day, and it's been bouncing up and down like a kangaroo on meth. Check this out. Somebody put this up. Get right. I hope you're all sitting down. Have we won the lastest rumor? I think they meant latest. Like I said, I do the occasional grammatical error myself. But if you're going to put up a petition, this thing has literally been bouncing up and down here all day long. And once it got just over 1,000, it's been stuck between, like, last time I saw it was bouncing between 1076 and 1080. And so it's hanging around 1089 now. But listen to this. This is the biggest steaming pile of bullshit I've heard yet. A bunch of rumors have been put out, and if true, it could be good news. Here they are. Doctor Who, look at this, in capital letters, will return to Saturdays. There will be another 2019 episode, a Christmas special. Once again, I love this. Capital letters, like they've gotten this inside track. Let's take a look at the name there. Season 12 won't air in January, not until February or March at the earliest. Like I said, I've been hearing March 2020. But everyone's now, for some reason, set on January. But like I said, don't get your hopes up on that yet. The fact that they've started filming early, we don't know how long it's going to go on. It could depend on actor availability, location availability, and whatnot. So Jodie will regenerate in 2020 at Christmas special. And I love this. They're feeding on a group of people who can't handle the fact that the Doctor has now changed into a female. And that's all this is doing. It's feeding on hate. Yeah, look at this. Capital letters, back into a man, baby. As the BBC are pissed off at the loss of 45% of the audience. 11 million, 7 million is not 45%. Really, is it? I haven't bothered to sit down and calculate it. But as Digital Spy and myself have tried to tell you, Eccleston lost 4 million in his opening season, and they didn't cancel the episode. They didn't cancel the series back in 2005. Ratings dips happen. And if you go look at the stat, I'll have to go find the Digital Spy article, which brilliantly covered all this stuff that people are turning into a mountain from a molehill. As the BBC are pissed off at the loss of the 45% of the audience. Okay, here once again, chin balls. Yeah, this is making me take you seriously right here. We'll both leave at that time. 2 new showrunners are being scouted. All right, please tell me you're sitting down, folks, because this is where it's going to kick you right in the face. You're going to fall over laughing. All right, now, Toby Whithouse, okay, that's good. Neil Cross, okay. Neither have accepted as yet. Peter Jackson has been begging for the job. Jackson is going to leave his multi-million-dollar mansion in New Zealand, where he's still collecting residuals from the Lord of the Rings movies, to move to Cardiff for 10 months.
There you have it. A clearly
to run a TV show.
Maniacal laugh.
Pissed off something that came out. I gotta sorry. Given the events of this past week, and you folks who watch know, I needed that belly laugh. I needed that laugh badly. I really did. Sorry. Okay. Just because Peter Jackson offered to direct an episode back during the Moffat era, and he was always saying, give me a Dalek and I'll do it. The guy could buy a Dalek with like an hour of earnings. Matter of fact, when the money he makes just while he's sitting there on the bathroom taking a shit, he could go out and buy his own Dalek or have one custom made. So to me, it was always kind of a joke. They even did that little skit with Peter Capaldi showing up at his place. Remember that? But still, there's no way in hell Peter Jackson is begging for the job of showrunner. He's not going to leave New Zealand for 10 months a year to go film in Cardiff. And there's no way in hell the BBC is going to pay for the whole unit to go to New Zealand to film. People are living in this dream world that Peter Jackson's going to sweep in and use his money to save Doctor Who and shit. And it's like, dude, if that were true, how come Joss Whedon hasn't spent a few $1 million to revive Firefly yet? You know, after the Avengers hit, he's swimming it up to his ass in money, and he never once touched the guy could have walked into any studio at that point after making like $1 billion off Avengers and said, I want to do a Firefly movie now. And they would have given him the money in the studio and all that to do it. But he doesn't talk about it, does he? Same thing with Peter Jackson. As much as he loves Doctor Who, he's not begging for the showrunner job. 2023 makes sense if they are going to give it to Peter Jackson. This would give him time to wrap up all his projects. Oh, God. Oh, man. I thought for sure this had to be a gag. But I got it. Oh, God. I should edit out all that laughing, but you know what? I'm not going to. Moving forward. Sadly, this is not all right. Alex Kingston admits she was conflicted after Jodie Whittaker was cast as the first female Doctor, as she revealed she would return as Riversong. Now, in this video, which is included, down here a ways. Damn, I could have swore it was here. All right, maybe my ad blocker's gotten rid of it. But she was sitting here on this talk show, and she was talking about it'll come up. Like I said, it's on this page somewhere because I watched it earlier. And she basically said she was a bit, conflicted about the fact that the Doctor was now female. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. And she said she was afraid people would react to Jodie the same way there were groups of fans who reacted to Peter Capaldi because he was an older actor. And now there's idiots running all over the internet attacking Alex Kingston, calling her like all these names and shit, and also saying that she's ageist and all this. And once again, they've obviously not, they're hearing, but they're not listening, is what you'd say. So the pretty little hate machine has once again grown, and even Alex Kingston's daughter, from what I heard, went on Twitter to defend her. I am ashamed of this fandom today. I'm completely ashamed. And if it weren't for the fact that I know that the people doing this comprise about, maybe 5% at most of the fandom, then yes, I would be, a bit, miffed and weirded out about it. But the shame factor is still there, that the fact that there are people calling themselves fans of this show who've obviously let the message of it, especially the messages taught by Peter in his brilliant speeches over his time as the Doctor, slide over their back end like, water off the end of a turtle or off the ass end of a duck. It just didn't sink in. Be kind, people. What the hell happened to that? And lastly, Demon Records confirmed 2 limited edition Doctor Who vinyl releases for Record Store Day, and that will be on April 13th, and that's going to be Destiny of the Daleks and Galaxy 4. And once again, out on vinyl, which once again, let's go out and let's buy an outdated format because it's now cool. And I brought up this on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS page that, they meant their podcast, which, by the way, I enjoy doing. I love sitting in on there. That, I actually went to the Walmart over here the other day, and they have a vinyl section. I'm like, wow, that's the first time I've seen a vinyl section in a store in 30, 40 years, maybe about 30 years, maybe. Okay, so once again, folks, to quote Susan Powder, stop the insanity. You have now gotten to the point that you're sounding like a bunch of angry children stamping their feet because mommy and daddy won't buy you an ice cream cone or get you that pretty shiny fire truck that you saw back in the toy section. And now people are taking it into the real world where I'm afraid sooner or later it's going to get hostile. I'm talking, it's bad enough that you sat down and you wrote out an anonymous letter to an actor just to tell them how bad their acting is. Congratulations, you wasted how much money on a stamp just to be laughed at internationally. No one's going to take you seriously, especially if you don't have the balls to show up and do it in person. Come on, even online, you can put up a page with your own face on it and say, this is me and I object. And there's people who've done that, and they've given perfectly rational explanations as to why they don't like what's going on in Series 11, and I have no problem with them. But it's just there's this group of people out there who are claiming they represent the majority of the fandom. They're acting like total freaking idiots, and they're doing maniacal, not maniacal, just stupid things, and claiming they're doing it in the name of Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a television show, not a religion. You're not preaching at a pulpit. You're staring into an empty bunch of pews and pretending you're this great leader because what? You got how many thousand hits on your YouTube channel? Don't mean jack shit at the end of the day in the real world. But I'm just afraid sooner or later someone's going to do something stupid in the real world, and that's going to reflect badly on everyone. And sadly, this, as I said, if you don't like Doctor Who, if you didn't want to even give Jodie a chance, Why are you watching the show? As I said earlier in this video, I do not watch Star Trek Discovery. The second I saw the lens flares in the trailer, the second I found out that Spock's going to suddenly have a human sister nobody's heard of, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And now that I've heard that they're going to now they're going to go into the cage and completely ruin that, I'm glad I didn't start watching. But like I said, folks, take a deep breath, calm down. If you truly have a complaint, the BBC has a complaint section. Go right out, make it thoughtful, make it nice, make it good and neat, use proper grammar, and chances are someone may read your complaint and pass it on. But I'm tired of trying to drill ratings facts into people because it's like talking to a wall. They don't want to hear it. That's one thing I've learned in this life. People generally don't want to hear the truth. They really don't. They'd rather be gently kissed by a lie than smacked hard across the face by reality. I don't know what else. Folks, please be kind to each other. It's like, I'm trying to take this lightly, but, as I said, I'm going to a funeral on Monday for somebody who is 14 years younger than me. It's like, it's hard to take things lightly. Life is too short. Move on. Good night, everyone. Please take care.